Fans, it is New York Jets reporting anonymous. My name's Anonymous. This is probably going to be the first of many podcasts depending on how this goes. It's probably going to be a little shorter than a podcast, but I mean that doesn't really matter. So the topic today is going to be the firing of or cutting of Le'Veon Bell. Personally, I absolutely hate this move. I assumed that we were going to cut him at the end of the season, but to do it at week 6, it's a little bit weird. Completely honest. Truthfully, I hope he does go to one of our rival teams and that we get absolutely killed. I really hope that he runs all over us and that, we get to be shown, he is still a good back. And if he's not, he's not. He could be just out of his prime. But personally, with everything we've seen so far in the past, 2 games that he's been back, he seems to be pretty good to go. So, yeah, that's going to be what I'm going to be talking about. I would blame Adam Gase. I mean, I can. But that's going to be a whole other podcast in the future. I mean, I could go on about that for hours. Honestly, because I hate him so much. I'm sure you guys feel the same exact way. I mean, I hate the guy. I'm sure he's a great guy outside of football, but God, he is horrible. He's worse than Hugh Jackson with the Browns. I mean, this guy is freaking bad. At first I was thinking, I hate the signing. I don't like it, but I'll deal with it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? He did help Peyton Manning. But, I mean, after the first, 3 games of last season, I'm like, this is a mistake. He is not an offensive guru. He is an absolute bum who doesn't know how to call plays. Okay, but yeah, that's for a whole nother podcast. So let's discuss the reasoning behind Le'Veon's release. Personally, as I said, I hate it. I hate this move. Le'Veon Bell has been this offensive team's leader since, last year. He has been there with the Jets through thick and thin. He has, unlike Jamal Adams, who, I think we see his point of view now, he was always positive. He never really liked seeing drama. And I know that's crazy, because when we were thinking when he was coming to this team, everyone thought, oh, he's going to be just cancer, he's going to be drama. Looking at what he did with the Steelers, there's no way this guy is going to be a leader, and there's no way that this guy is going to be positive and a team player. But what we learned throughout these past 1.5 seasons is that is the complete opposite. Le'Veon Bell has been always so positive. He's helped recruiting. He's always been there for the team. He plays 100% every game, even if we are getting killed. I mean, last week, he still tried. I know some players out there that will just completely fall apart and give up. I mean, that defense in the 49ers game, I heard the commentators say, this defense has completely given up. And there's nothing that pains me or a football fan more to hear that our team has given up. We are probably going 0-16 this season, and let me tell you, that sucks. This whole season sucks. Okay? We're already counting down the days to the NFL draft, and it feels like we do this every single year. Sure, last season we started at 2-7 and 7-9. Woohoo. Great deal. I mean, what came out of that is we got, hopefully, our star left tackle, Mekhi Becton. He's looked great. I'm going to talk in a whole nother video of why the hell we played him. That's going to be an Adam Gase video. I'm just going to absolutely kill Adam Gase for putting Mekhi Becton back into that Broncos game. But not for this video. I mean, last year, we saw sparks of something that could have been great. Truly. We had some really good games and some really bad games. One of the good games was the Raiders game. I mean, the defense was just outstanding. The offense seemed to be clicking. And then we could go ahead and look back to the Patriots game. You know, when Darnold was seeing ghosts. I mean, that was a pretty ugly game on both sides of the ball. I mean, it really just, when it was working, it was working. When it wasn't, it wasn't. And you know what? I feel that Adam Gase is absolutely the root of this problem. I have said it once and I will say it again. That Adam Gase is a cancer to the team. And you know what? The sooner we get rid of him, the better. I think 100% that he has completely ruined Darnold for the Jets. I will say this once and I will say this again. Darnold is going to be a great quarterback somewhere else. Not with the Jets. And some people will disagree, some people will agree. We know Darnold's not going to be here this offseason. It is very clear that Joe Douglas wants to do a complete restart from bottom to top. He is going to get rid of absolutely everyone besides maybe Mekhi Becton and maybe, I have no idea who else would even stay. Perrine, maybe? I mean, I don't really know. He is going to tear down this team and build it back up. There is a reason he signed so many one-year contracts. Okay? That was smart because something tells me that he knew the season was going to be bad. Okay, so back to Le'Veon Bell. He has put his heart on the field for every single game. He has never once slandered the Jets. He has always been so positive in the locker room. He has tried to keep the team pumped up. And you know what? Sometimes the team is just helpless. And I'm sure when we lost to the Broncos and when we lost to the Colts, I mean, it was just so ugly. I'm sure he went to his agent and said, I need to get out of here. It's time. Because he wants to win. And personally, he should go to a team where they're going to allow him to win. And I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say, that's not with the Jets. The Jets are going to suck this year. And next year, I wouldn't doubt if they suck again. Because Trevor Lawrence is our guy. I know he is. The Giants are going to win one game, probably against the Washington football team or the Eagles. I mean, that's just a fact of the matter. The Giants are probably going to win one game. Us, on the other hand, I don't see us winning against the Patriots twice. Miami's kind of a throw-up game. By the way they absolutely killed the Niners last week, I don't see us winning. I mean, they absolutely destroyed the Niners when we, on the other hand, struggled. Just absolutely struggled. And I understand that we didn't have Le'Veon Bell then. It would have not made a difference. I mean, the defense couldn't be stopped. The offense couldn't get going. I mean, I didn't even know whose team was throwing to. When Braxton Berrios is your number 1 and 2 receiver, you know your team is just bad. And so I couldn't blame Le'Veon Bell for that. Sure, he had, what was it, a hamstring injury? Everyone has hamstring injuries, that's fine. I'm fine with him sitting out. But to release the guy 2 games back in, after he hasn't played bad games. I mean, sure, they weren't amazing. He's not back to his full potential as that number 1 star back. Okay? And you know what? Last year, I could say the same. He wasn't great. He was okay. He wasn't horrible. But the fact of the matter is, the O-line last year was just so bad that he didn't have a chance to even... There were absolutely no holes for him to go through. There was nothing. He couldn't get out there. I don't know what Jets fans were thinking. My main thought was, what do you expect? The guy can't go anywhere and there's nowhere to go. He did make a great receiver sometimes, but he's a running back. He's supposed to be a running back. You know, when he's patient, when he hits a hole, he hits that hole hard and he goes through it. Okay? And when he has a good O-line, you best believe it. He is going to be getting 25 plus points on fantasy every single game. You just know it. And so I'm not sure who he's going to sign with. I don't know personally. I think it's going to be the Chiefs. I mean, I don't know with what money, but I think the Chiefs are going to sign him, and I think they are going to utilize him. along with Allaire. And when I think that, they are going to be a Super Bowl team. There's no doubt in my mind. The other option is that he signs with the Dolphins and gets revenge on us next week. Or this week, next week, whatever. If he does, you know damn well he's going in there and he is going to run us the fuck over. I mean, it is going to be bad. And I don't mean that to be negative. It is incredibly hard to be positive as a Jets fan right now. We are all suffering. I know we're suffering. I mean, this is going to be a really tough year. I don't see us winning a game. You know, at the start of the season, I was like, okay, we could beat the Browns. We might be able to beat the Dolphins once, and the Colts, and the Niners. And now that I look at it, the Browns are what? 4-1? Something like that? I can't go in there and imagine, okay, let's go. We're going to go 16-0. We're going to go 10-6. No, I don't even think we're going to go 1-15. I think we're going 0-16. And I could say that in the most positive way possible. But the fact of the matter is, without Le'Veon Bell, we don't have a number one back. Frank Gore is 37 years old. And listen, everyone loves him, everyone respects him. But the truth of the matter is, he is not himself. He's not young again. The guy will get 3-yard carries, sure. Amazing. With Adam Gase' play calling, that's all we're going to be getting for the next, 11 games? I mean, I'm not excited. No, you're not excited. We are not ready to see this every single weekend. I'd rather watch absolutely any other game. I'd rather watch the Jacksonville Jaguars play. Okay, I mean, that's how bad this team is. There is no life. There's absolutely no life in this team. The only player that anyone had absolutely any interest in was Mekhi Becton, and he's hurt. And so there was only Le'Veon Bell to go look at if he was actually getting carries. Everyone knows Adam Gase didn't use him properly. Everyone knows it. I mean, Adam Gase was an absolutely horrible play caller, and him and Le'Veon Bell just did not match. It was clear Adam Gase wanted to do something completely other than what Le'Veon wanted. Le'Veon wants to be out there. He wants to be able to run. He wants to run. I mean, he doesn't want to be there on the bench waiting. He's someone where if you don't use him, then you're just wasting money at that point. As I will say, use a player if you pay them. There is a reason you are paying Le'Veon Bell. And so when you don't use them, you're just wasting so much money. I mean, I personally thought he deserved the contract if he was going to play he did in Pittsburgh. And he hasn't. And you know what? That's on the team and that's on him. Because truth be told, he didn't look great last year. Truthfully, I mean, he played, again, as I said earlier, he played okay, but was he anything special? Absolutely not. I mean, I'm sure that the Steelers took a big sigh of relief when James Conner came around, and he just absolutely just killed it. I mean, good for James Conner. But looking at Le'Veon Bell, I think there's still something in him, and he is going to spark, and we are going to regret releasing him this early into the season. There is no reason to release him this early. I don't understand the move. You don't understand the move. I can understand maybe knowing you're not going to be seeing him next year. Fine, I get it. Release him in the offseason. But why do you cut him before you cut Adam Gase? And I know people are pissed at Joe Douglas, but from the way I see it and from some of the articles I've seen, Joe Douglas is nothing more than a microphone. He is the one announcing all of Adam Gase's moves. Adam Gase has the reins, not Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas is basically the person saying, hey, we're doing this, hey, we're doing this. Whereas Adam Gase, he is making the decisions. And you know damn well, Christopher Johnson or whoever is running this fucking team, he ain't gonna do shit. Okay? And so the frustrating part is our owners are so incompetent that they have no idea what they're doing. They let this crackhead come into here and run with the show he wants to run. And you know what? That's just not working. We know it's not working. We know we are tanking for Trevor. One thing I will hint at is I don't know why the Giants don't believe in Daniel Jones. Yes, he is fumble prone, okay? But he could be a really good player. We have seen it, just like Sam, we have seen him shine. And we know he's a young guy. He's young. This is his second year. He is going to make mistakes, but he is a damn good football player, okay? Now, looking at the way Le'Veon Bell, why we released him. I understand cap space. We're going to probably have the number one amount of cap space by the end of the season. I mean, amazing, sure. I mean, at this point, we've done that so many years now, and it's never led to anything better. We've been this garbage team since 2010. You could call 2016 a fluke season when we went 10-6. 2010 was the last time we were really good. I mean, if you looked at Darrelle Revis, I mean, that team was just absolutely scary. That defense was crazy. And I bet you $100 if he had any other quarterback playing rather than Mark Sanchez, that we would have won that Super Bowl that year. Truth be told. And we've had absolutely horrible coaching decisions ever since. I mean, look to the year the Johnsons bought the team. It was an investment for them. This was the time where they said, you know, we can make big from this. We could do this. And we think, us Jets fans are thinking, ever since 2000, we've gone downhill so fast. It's stupid. And so, when I see people saying that they hate the Johnsons and that they wish they were never owners, I can't help but agree with them. I want the Johnsons to sell the team so bad, but we all know that's not happening anytime soon. And we could pray that Gary V's going to come in and he's going to be like, don't worry guys, I'm here, but that man doesn't have enough money, and I'm sure us fans can run this team better than anyone else, and it is stupid, and we know that, but we can't do anything about it. I mean, if you're pass holder, stop buying the pass. You know, stop buying the yearly pass or whatever. Show them with the amount of money they make. The sooner they start making less money, the better. Truth be told. And it's going to hurt us, and you know that. This season's going to be painful. We are going to see so many players that we have all grown to love be traded away. I would bet you that Jamison Crowder and Brian Poole are both going to be traded away. Marcus May is leaving after the season. He doesn't want to be here. He is a good safety, and we are going to see him go somewhere else. I mean, if we look at it, we are cleaning house right now. We are not keeping one single person besides Mekhi Becton. That's honestly who I could only see staying. If we decide to keep Crowder, they'll resign him. They'll give him a good contract. He deserves a good contract. If we look defensively, I'm not really. Maybe Quinn Williams. He still has something left on his rookie contract. I mean, he's been okay this year. He hasn't been anything great. Avery Williamson, he hasn't played that good either. He almost had that pick six last game, but even then, I mean, his story, I love Avery Williamson. He's pretty awesome dude, coming back from the ACL. I like him. I really wish we'd keep him. He's just not the same player as last year. And, CJ Mosley, that was probably one of the worst investments we had. That injury last year, I get it. Groin is a tough injury to come back from. And so, I understand why he stood out this year. I understood that COVID is serious. I know my family's being cautious. I'm sure some of your families are being cautious. I get it. But when he comes back, he's not going to be the same. He's not. That's a fact. And so we know this defense without Jamal Adams, we're going to assume without Marcus May. I mean, this defense is horrible, and the fact that this offense isn't any better, this offense, I cannot count the amount of times that this time of possession has just been so lopsided that this defense can't do anything. They are worn out. And yes, they get paid to play football. Yes, I get it. They are supposed to be good. But when your offense can't do anything more than a 3 and out with 2 runs up the middle and then an incomplete pass because you're trying to force it down the field, then I don't understand it. I remember looking at the Chiefs, and Le'Veon Bell will love their system. He will love the Brown system. He wants to play, and I feel like Andy Reid would say, come here, we are going to play, you are going to be a workhorse, and you are going to have fun with this system. And I feel like with the Jets, he's like, what do they have to offer me? They can't offer me anything. It's just me here. I don't really see any supporting cast besides maybe Jamison Crowder. And he's like, this is our number 1 receiver? Denzel Mims hasn't done anything. He's literally been just Le'Veon Bell. And that is the reason he wanted to leave. Because he realized, it's just me here, and I'm not having fun. And he could be making all the money in the world, but it doesn't matter. We have seen players that have gone down from contracts because they do not want to play for a certain team, and I promise you, every free agent is staying as far away from the Jets as possible because they realize we are nothing more than a dumpster fire. I'm sure next year, I am positive that Joe Douglas has a plan for us. I know. I thought before the season starts, I told everyone I knew that he is already thinking and reaching out to head coaches or potential head coaches because he does not like Adam Gase. They are not on the same page, and he has no power to do anything until this offseason. Because he is here for the long run, we know he has a plan, and we know that Adam Gase is not going to be part of it. And so when we look at it that way, we have to realize that this team is going to be built from the ground up. We realize that Joe Douglas is hoarding draft picks because he wants to make it his team, a young, fresh team with all 1 and 2 year players, maybe a few 3-year players. I mean, he wants his team to basically be the youngest team in the NFL, and they will have the energy and the power, and they will be able to say, we are here to fight, and we may not have the amount of experience as you, but we're going to be here to fight every single battle. And sure, he will have a few veterans on that team, but at the end of the day, it isn't going to be the team we have today. And I could be completely wrong. I bet you I am wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Well, maybe not. But the matter of fact is, he is going to try to trade away everyone to get as many draft picks as possible. And it's going to be a very difficult season as a Jet fan. We know it. It's gonna suck. These next few weeks are going to be some of the worst weeks of our lives. Because the matter of the fact is, our schedule is tough, and we are going to get blown out so many times. We have Kansas City, we have the Seahawks, we have, I don't even know, we have the Patriots twice, we have the 4-1 Browns. I mean, this season is going to be so tough, and I just can't. If this were last year, I could maybe say, oh, we might get a win here and there, but I honestly can't say that about the season. Before last week, I was like, we might be able to win 1 game off the Dolphins. 1. But after seeing them absolutely destroy the Niners, I'm thinking to myself, there is no way in hell. And you know what I thought? I thought maybe we could get a win off the Chargers. But Justin Herbert has been absolutely amazing. Personally, I've watched him since college days, before he even transferred from Georgia. He is an incredible player, and I know him. He is going to blow us out of the water. There is a reason that this Chargers team is not 5-0. This Chargers team is really freaking good. To go to overtime with the Chiefs and the Saints, I mean, those are 2 tough losses, but those are the top teams in the nation, or in all of NFL. I mean, this Charger team is incredible, and not incredible, but they are really good. Personally, they are probably the better 1-4 team over the Texans. Texans season, they're a whole nother dumpster fire, but it's like a good dumpster fire. That's hard to explain. But the matter of the fact is that this Jets team, if the Jets and Giants combined just as teams, we would probably go 2-14. I mean, both our teams are bad. But I could at least see the Giants having an easier schedule, and they're going to be like, okay, we're going to probably get one win in Philly. Probably going to get one win in Washington. I mean, our schedule is tough, and that, in a sense, gives us a better chance to get this number 1 draft pick. Because we have a much lesser chance of winning a game unless this team comes out and wakes up and says, we don't want to lose anymore. We want to win. We know that's not going to happen. We just know it. With the amount of injuries we've had, it's stupid. I think we may have had one wide receiver that's been through every game. Maybe. I mean, Jamison Crowder just came back too. I can't think of one receiver. Maybe Braxton Berrios. He's been in there. But he shouldn't be one of our top 3 receivers. He is a punt and kick return man. And he's a damn good one. We're going to not deny it. He is a good return man. And the fact that he's really not, taking the returns, he's mainly playing wide receiver, that's stupid. I mean, that's how bad this team is. And I'm sure we are all frustrated. We are all done with this. But we are in here for the long haul. I'm sure all of us have thought, why did I not just go to another team? Why am I stuck with the fucking Jets? Most of us are born into this. Most of us don't choose this. And it sucks because I'm sure some of us would have gladly just jumped onto, the fan train of any other team. Kansas City, New England, freaking anyone else. But if you're like me, we're born into this. And I've learned to stick through it thick and thin. If you've read my bio, I'm also a Georgia Tech fan. I have lost so many times with both these teams where I have years that I just want to break down and cry and say screw football, but I can't do that. Because we are in here for the long haul, and we're here to suffer, basically. We're here to suffer until we get good, if that's ever. And when we do have those wins, and when we maybe eventually have a good season, that time will be so sweet for us, and then we'll go back to sucking again. I mean, this whole Le'Veon Bell thing, kind of just, it's a domino effect. It's going to be Le'Veon Bell, Jamison Crowder, Brian Poole, Marcus Knight. I mean, it's going to be all our top players are going to say, get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be a part of this. And to wrap it up, because I could go longer about this, I can rant more about this, I don't think Le'Veon Bell's a bad player. I don't think Le'Veon Bell's a bad person. I think he was just stuck with a bad team. I really like Le'Veon Bell. I think that he overall can be a very good player. And if he goes to a team that knows how to use him, such as the Chiefs with Eric Bieniemy, I can't say his last name, you know damn well he is going to use Bieniemy, is going to use him, and he's going to be back to that player. I mean, he looks fit, he looks ready to go, and you know what, the Jets can't use him, and that's the fact of the matter. The Jets aren't able to use him, and that's the reason he hasn't been able to succeed in New York. It's because Adam Gase doesn't know how to use Le'Veon Bell. And I know Sam Darnold really liked him. I think everyone in the locker room really liked Bell. I heard rumors that the whole running back team was absolutely furious when Le'Veon Bell got released. And I can't blame them. The same thing happened to one of my favorite players last year. He didn't get released mid-season, but he didn't get re-signed. And that was Bilal Powell. He has been with this team for so long, and he wanted to play with this team. He spoke to reporters and said, verified source coming directly from him. Re-sign me. I want to be a part of this team. And when Joe Douglas didn't do that, he said, fuck you guys. I might as well just not do anything. I'll go work out with other teams. I mean, that was one of the worst parts of being a Jet fan in a long time for me. And it was small. It was insignificant. Bilal Powell, much like Le'Veon Bell, was always there. He was always positive, and he went out and tried every single time. And so to see him not get resigned, that hurt. And I know damn well that Joe Douglas is trying to gain as much money as possible, because he will go out and he will be like the Raiders, and he will get absolutely everyone and build a team that's going to be good. But that's not going to be anytime soon. I'm sorry, Jets fans, but that's just the God honest truth. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening to the first podcast, or rant, or whatever. I'll probably have one coming soon about Adam Gase. But until next time, guys, have a good one, and remember to jet up.